Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' It's D. About to react to this vid by Sloan. It's titled Jay-Z Exposed by His Abandoned Son. He wants justice. I have seen a couple things about Jay-Z having kids with people who are not Beyonce. I don't know how true it is because I feel like, when you're famous, there are a lot of people who pop up out the woodworks and claim that they're your kin. So it's like, what do you believe? But maybe he got some receipts. So let's see what's going on. Let's watch.
The first time I heard that Jay-Z probably was my father when I was 8 years old. My mom came up to me and was like,
exactly
hey,
like him, actually.
I got something to tell you. That's your dad. You don't just say this type of person is your father, Jay-Z. And it is important that I know who my biological father is.
I need some receipts.
I don't know how he's feeling. Like I would hope he would think about it.
It looks like Beyonce is making Jay-Z sleep on the couch tonight because he's been sneaking around and lying to the world. Once upon a time, when Jay-Z was 22, he decided to hook up with a 16-year-old, which is so gross. She ended up getting pregnant and had his son. Well, now his son, Ramir, is 30 years old and wants the world to know. So let's get into it.
Y'all need some receipts, brother. You look like him, but...
In the entertainment industry, there are a lot of clout chasers. But in this instance, I fully believe that Jay-Z was messing around with a minor, got her pregnant, and wanted nothing to do with his son. This honestly sounds like a movie, because this 30-year-old man is claiming that Jay-Z is his father, and he's been trying to get to the bottom of this for the past 10 years. But Jay-Z has been using his power and his money, his influence to manipulate and corrupt the Supreme Court. So we're going to be talking about this man, Ramir, and what he's claiming Jay-Z has done. I mean, if you take a look at him, he does kind of look like Jay-Z, so we're off to a good start. Ramir claims that he's the secret, illegitimate son of Jay-Z, and has accused the world-famous rapper of abusing the legal system for more than a decade in order to avoid taking a paternity test. Ramir has been at this for a long time, so honestly, I was surprised I haven't seen this story before, because he's been trying to get Jay-Z to take this paternity test ever since he was 21. And now he's currently taking this battle to the highest court to force Jay-Z to take a DNA test. And I actually don't believe that Ramir is trying to get clout off of this situation. I genuinely believe that he's just trying to get justice, because at this point, he really hasn't made that much progress. Jay-Z has used his power to stop everything.
It was never about, chasing anybody or trying to receive anything from it. This was like, I'm trying to really see who my dad is. Everyone who really knows me knows how I am. I stay to myself. I work every day. I take care of my family. I do my own music. I've been doing music since I was a kid.
Can you imagine if he is in fact Jay-Z's son and then he has been making music, has been doing it ever since he was a kid? And I did take a listen. His music's pretty good. And I actually don't think Ramir is trying to get to Jay-Z's money. I think he just wants acknowledgement from his father that he's his son, which...
Would he even get anything, though? I mean, I don't know what he could sue for. Maybe back child support or something. I don't know. Back payments. I don't fucking know. But you 30, so it's like he ain't gonna take care of you now, obviously. He's not obligated to. So, yeah, there's that. But he's saying he wants justice. But justice how? Like, okay, let's say you do find out that he's your father. Then what? He clearly doesn't want a relationship with you. He clearly wants to be a deadbeat. So... then what?
Is a messy situation because, I've heard Jay-Z has a few different kids in other places as well. Now Ramir has filed a new motion with the New Jersey Supreme Court in February of this year, and he's trying to unseal years worth of documents dating back to 2012. The motion, which details every facet of the years-long case in a 29-page document, was rejected by the court because, according to the court, it did not have jurisdiction to reopen matters in the appeals court or to unseal records. So now the courts are just complicating this situation even further. But let's go back in time and talk about how Ramir's mother got involved with Jay-Z. Ramir says in the fall of 1992, his late mother, Wanda, alleged that she had hooked up with Jay-Z while she was in an on and off again romance with her high school sweetheart. Now here's the scary part, because at this point, Wanda was 16 years old and Jay-Z was 22. I mean, oh God. Everyone in Hollywood, they're just sick in their mind. This is kind of early on in his career. Ramir claims by the time he was born in 1993, the alleged romance between his mother and Jay-Z had come to an end, which is partly why He claims his mother chose to put the name of her high school sweetheart, Robert, on his birth certificate because they were in this relationship. I mean, did Robert even know that, maybe she was like sleeping around and was pregnant by another man? Probably not. But according to a family insider, Wanda always knew that Robert was not Ramir's father, something that became all more evident as her son grew up and doesn't look anything like Robert. Now let's talk about when Ramir learned about this, because he grew up as a kid thinking Robert was his dad. But when he was 8 years old, his mother told him that Jay-Z was his father. He was sitting there watching TV, and then, his mother came and told him that, which I question, like, the mother in this situation. Like, could she just be making this up? But the way that he's avoided this entire situation, it shows that Jay-Z is guilty.
The first time I heard that Jay-Z probably was my father when I was 8 years old. And, my mom, we was actually sitting in the house on a regular day, listening to music. My mom came up to me and was like, "Hey, Rob, I got something to tell you. That's your dad for real." I'm like, I was shocked. Like, "Mom, what are you talking about?" I'm like, it's nothing your parents would just make up like that. You don't just say this type of person is your father, Jay-Z.
I can't imagine how Ramir felt in that moment, like being an 8-year-old kid and then learning your father could be this guy on TV. Like, that's just such a weird thing to process. But of course, as an 8-year-old, he could not start this paternity battle. So it all started in 2010, 2 years after Jay-Z married Beyonce. At this point, Wanda, his mother, was not doing well. As you guys heard earlier, she has since passed away. Wanda claims that she had only hooked up with 2 men when she was in high school, and it's Robert and Jay-Z. Robert didn't have any issues taking this paternity test, and when he did, they found out that he was not in fact the father. So who does that leave? Because we found out that Robert is not Ramir's father, Robert's name was removed from his birth certificate by the court and has remained blank ever since then. In 2011, Wanda handed over custody of Ramir to his godmother because she wasn't doing well, and Lily has put on this fight in court to prove that Jay-Z is in fact his father. So Wanda kind of had to step out, but then Lily, the godmother's like, "Okay, I will take care of Ramir, and we will also challenge this in court and get to the bottom of it." Lily was quoted saying that this situation was so hard for Ramir because he had his mother ripped away from him and he had no one to call dad. That same year that Lily stepped in, she actually contacted Jay-Z's attorney and asked for him to undergo a DNA test. Obviously, Jay-Z wouldn't comply, and if you look at Jay-Z, he's a huge star. There's probably a lot of other people who do this to him and other celebrities as well. They try to pretend that they're pregnant with their baby. Like, I remember someone did that to Justin Bieber a long time ago, and it can get complicated because there are some serious clout chasers. But Lily and Ramir began to pursue legal action against Jay-Z in 2012. This battle has spanned more than 10 years and seen the pair embroiled in endless legal tussles with the rapper. Ramir claims that Jay-Z's legal team has made endless attempts to subvert the legal system in order to avoid taking a paternity test, which the 30-year-old claims would put an end to this case once and for all. Because, if you're not the dad, if you're not concerned, like, if you were to just do this, then we can close the book. But it seems like he's got something to hide.
Or he got better things
Ramir has
to do.
been consistently trying to get this question answered for so long. Personally, I don't believe that he's making it up, because if they were, they probably would have given up by now. Jay-Z's legal team said that the rapper should be exempt from undergoing a DNA test in New Jersey.
I don't think he is making it up, but the question is his mama making it up? Because she's already proven herself to be untrustworthy. She was a child at the time that happened, so there's that. I'm not really holding it against her too much, but it's also sketchy that she gave her son up. It's like, what are the details surrounding that? So I'm kind of side-eyeing the mama, more than the son. I believe him, and I believe that he believes that Jay-Z is his daddy. But the mama, I don't know.
Because he did not live or own any property in the state. So there's no reason for him to be associated with New Jersey and have to listen to anything that New Jersey has to say, because he doesn't even own land there. But Jay-Z isn't telling the truth. Ramir's attorneys immediately appealed the verdict, insisting that they had evidence in the form of 3 property deeds and tax records, showing that Jay-Z did in fact own a couple of properties. And actually, for several of those properties, Jay-Z is still listed as the owner. So how are you gonna act like you don't have any property there when you actually do, and it can be proven true? So it's like now your lawyers are lying to the courts. What's insane to me is that this case was still dismissed because they said that they could not prove that Sean Corey Carter was listed on any of the deeds. This is where I get a little bit confused, because you do see his name up there under owners, but I think that he works with obviously a bunch of different people, so there are also other owners as well. But that doesn't deny the fact that he clearly owns something in New Jersey for whatever reason. I mean, you could assume it's just for him. Lily, Ramir's godmother, submitted these documents to the court to show that Jay-Z did in fact own properties in New Jersey, which would give the court jurisdiction to require DNA testing. But the court, however, ruled in favor of Jay-Z, the guy with a bunch of money, a bunch of influence. Makes sense to me, right? But a lot of people are calling BS. I mean, the NAACP and ACLU, which are two civil rights organizations, are actually fighting with Ramir to try to get this DNA testing done. So these big agencies are like, wait, hold up, there is something wrong here. I mean, the court is dismissing a case because they claim there aren't properties, but there are properties, and now these civil rights groups are getting involved.
With New Jersey Supreme Court, there's been a whole lot of fraud and collusion, and I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm just asking everybody, all the judges, or anybody who's working on the case, to do what's right and do their job the correct way, even if you overlook something or didn't see something. Everybody makes mistakes, as I said before. But it's time to actually do your job and look at everything and get it correct.
As I mentioned, Ramir has not given up. In December 2014, he filed a civil lawsuit against Jay-Z and his attorney, arguing the fact that they cannot use the defense that Jay-Z doesn't own property in New Jersey because he does. And at the end of the day, like, there's some fraud or something going on here, so he's actually suing both of them, and he should sue that attorney because that's unethical. And even though he did file this civil lawsuit, the court ruled in Jay-Z's favor and dismissed the case. In 2017, Ramir and Lily filed a civil rights complaint to Judge Glenn A. Grant for violations including that she's not following normal procedures or court services based on gender, class, and retaliation. And they've continued to call out these people in the court system. They did it in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. So they're not giving up. And now they've caught, my attention and you guys.
Because, if it was anybody else that made a low income, I feel like they would have them in there way faster than people that's wealthy. I really try not to get frustrated, basically. I really try not to think about, I go on with my life because, anything could happen, but, I still gotta live for myself.
Because this entire situation is hitting the press again, Jay-Z's attorneys are on top of it. In a letter to the Daily Mail, Jay-Z's attorneys denied Ramir's claims, noting the allegations have been previously reviewed thoroughly by courts and have been refuted. I'm sure that will be the outcome of whatever filings Ramir may be currently considering. Which seems like such a dismissive response. Like, they really don't have any proof that he's lying. They're just like, go look at the courts and hear what they say. Well, now he's calling out the court saying that they are corrupt. And this man just wants to know who his dad is, like, health implications, like things you would want to know from a parent.
It is important that I know who my biological father is, just because, my mom's health, I don't know if it's coming from our family or it's coming from the other side, and that would be something I really would want to find out because, in the future, you don't know what could happen.
I'd love to have Ramir on the channel and to talk about this entire situation. He's been quoted saying, "This is not going to be over until justice is served. I just want to live my life. And when all is said and done, I hope Jay-Z would want to be a part of my life, if that's God's will. I won't stop fighting for this until I win. And I will win because the law is on our side."
I don't know how he's feeling. Like, I would hope he would think about it and this would be in his mind. But, I wouldn't actually know what another person is feeling at this time. You just can think that this person knows and thinking about it and stuff like that. I really want to know how that is.
I want to hear what you guys think in the comments.
Yeah, I don't know. This is also very suspicious because considering that it's gotten all the way to Jay-Z's lawyer, Jay-Z clearly knows about this to some degree. So if there was no validity to this claim, it would be nothing for you to be like, hey, take this swab of my DNA. Get this little nigga up out of here. I don't know him. I ain't never met his mama a day in my goddamn life. Cap. It would be nothing for you to disprove all of this, but you're not doing that. And I'm sure he does have better things to do, but it's a real quick little DNA test. It doesn't take much. So considering that they have been very relentless, he getting the fucking NAACP involved and filing this shit with the Supreme Court. Like, he's putting a lot of energy into this and have been doing this for several years. It's like, okay, let me put an end to this if you are truly an innocent man and you had nothing to do with conceiving this man. But maybe, you're guilty and maybe you know what you did and you're trying to avoid owning up to it. So, yeah, that is a bit sketchy. I feel like he should just do the test. But we'll see what happens. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you've been watching. I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye!